1952, a young Princess Elizabeth and her husband Philip were on an official visit to Kenya. Her father, King George VI, who had brought us all through the war, keeping morale high, was too ill to go to Kenya. So the young Princess Elizabeth went. Sadly, on the early hours of the 6th of February 1952, one of the footmen discovered the king had died in his sleep. The princess, soon to become queen, returned to London on the 7th of February, where she took the royal oath and it sealed her accession to the throne. After the king's funeral, the country geared up, ready for the Queen's coronation in 1953. The country, as the date approached, were all red, white and blue crazy. And somebody who can remember the Queen's coronation is with me at the moment. Pauline, looking back to 1953, what can you remember about the Queen's coronation? Where were you?
Well, I was isolated in the back bedroom in Stanley Road with scarlet fever.
Oh dear. So you were in bed with this scarlet fever, but you were well aware of what was happening, and the street parties were organised and families were getting together, because a lot of things were still rationed in 1953. I know contributions were made towards the Queen's dress, the wedding dress, etc. like that. So did your street have a street party, even though you couldn't?
No, Stanley Road didn't have a street party. I'm not sure whether James Street, which was a street further up Stanley Road, whether they had one, but as far as I can remember, there wasn't one in Stanley Road. So my family decided they would have a family party.
At home?
At home, yes.
And all the family were invited to come to your home, but you were in isolation.
Yeah, but there was, when I say all the family, it was my mum and dad and my grandmother, and then an aunt and uncle and their two boys from Coventry. They came over, were due to come over on the bus to watch it celebrate together. And I think because we've got an aunt and another cousin who lived over, I think they were included as well. And my sister, I've got a sister at the time. But of course, because I was taking up the bedroom, she had to go and sleep, but my cousin was over the way.
Oh right.
But they were all due to gather for the celebrations.
And you've got a TV or radio?
We've got a TV.
TV.
Yeah, we've got a TV.
A little black and white one?
Yes.
As everything was then?
Yeah.
And you were all gathered round. I can almost imagine this. The family gathered round and maybe a little plate of sandwiches cut into dainty triangles.
Well, I don't know about that. But
and they're all anticipating the state coach bringing the Queen to the Abbey. So there was lots of memorabilia about at the time, and I can see we've got a mug there. Was this something that was bought for you as a gift, or was it a school?
I've got a feeling that was a school one, but I wasn't at school, so I can't remember whether I actually got one.
Right, but just in case, if you did, Mum and Dad bought it maybe.
Or it could be my sister's, you know.
But you've also got a very nice brass crown there saying Coronation, 1953. Elizabeth II, 1953 coronation.
Yeah.
But there's a great big gap in there. What on earth is this?
It's a money box.
A money? Oh right, yes.
None in it.
None in it, empty.
Be a bit out of date now, anyway.
So that was something that you've acquired along the way.
Well, some family members who lived in the Black Country, they were in the brass industry, and they made them, and they sent them as gifts to my sister and myself.
Oh right. I mean, I've never seen one of these before.
I've got a feeling they had some that had like blue velvet.
Oh right.
In that area, depicted that were on sale in the local shops.
It's quite heavy, that is.
Yeah.
Very nice. We've got some books. We've got something about the Queen's father, George VI, and obviously we've got.
Well, that's George VI.
That's George VI, and this is about the Queen just as she's taken to the throne. but I mean, the up and down the country, people went mad, and she's soon to become the longest serving monarch.
Yes.
She's only a couple of months short at the time we're recording this. But she's held in great affection all over the world and the Commonwealth. And she was the first monarch to circumnavigate the globe. People for the coronation, as well as gathering round TV sets and street parties, they all donned their finest, and there must have been a big feeling of euphoria and excitement that, they'd come through terrible times in World War II. Then, not long after, the King died, and as I say, him and the Queen Mother, as we now know her, Queen Mother, they brought the country through that war.
Yeah.
So there was a long period, excuse me, where morale was a bit low, although Churchill did his best to keep things up. But there was news from the home front, and morale and the feeling of the well-feeling of people was low. So this was going to be since the celebration of the end of the war in 1945, they've waited 8 years for something to celebrate, really.
Yeah.
And along came, and she was only, 23, 25, when she became queen. So she was a very young queen, and not expecting to become queen so soon. So if you can remember, just after, do you mind me asking how old you were?
I was 9.
You were 9. So after another 10 years, you'd be doing the dance halls and things like that. So it's when you've got the memories of the Queen's coronation, and obviously everything was in black and white. So were the newspapers printing colour photos? Can you remember? I've seen some
I've got a
books.
feeling that I think there could have been, but as I say, I was sitting there and isolated. But see, our story doesn't end there, because everybody sat in front of the telly waiting to watch the coronation, and the television broke down.
Oh no!
Yeah.
They didn't get to see it.
They didn't get to see it. No, and my aunt and uncle had a perfectly good television out of the country.
Oh.
And of course, they couldn't go back home because it was a bus journey, and I don't think the buses were running that day.
No. So the family never got to see the coronation at the end
Well,
of the day?
they got
or did
to
they go
see-
round
Well,
a neighbour? Or
No, not on that day. They didn't see it, but they got to see it, the highlights. And in actual fact, I was allowed out of bed a few days later, because my sister was over at my cousin's sleeping, so my parents let me come downstairs and I did watch the second showing.
the repeat.
Yeah, the repeat.
It was still the same as the first, so you didn't miss much. But of course, nowadays we can all watch the coronation through the good old internet, and it's in colour. Some of it is in colour. So even though you were stuck in bed with your scarlet fever, you can see what you missed all these years.
And then it's in June there was always a Rose Queen at the Abbey Church School, and my cousin was Rose Queen that year, and I think the first day that I was allowed out, but couldn't, it was too much, but I was allowed to go down to that and watch that. I was quite upset because my class at school, the year, they'd moved up to the junior school then, because it was the infant school that did Rose Queen, but they did a pageant because it was the coronation.
Yes.
And of course I couldn't be in that.
You could be in that. So you missed out.
I missed out, but I did see it on the cinema. We did go to the cinema and see it in colour.
Which cinema did you go to? The Ritz.
Yeah.
Good old Ritz. Well, it's been lovely looking back at the Queen's coronation with you, Pauline. And if you've got any stories that you'd like to tell about the coronation, about VE Day, when the bombs dropped, dancing at the Co-op Hall, seeing the Seekers at the Ritz, please visit our website at www.nuneatonmemories.co.uk and